G'day guys, Steve with Broken Sprocket. In this video I'm going to be replacing the standard fuel tank with this oversized aftermarket IMS fuel tank. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let's get started. Okay, we're replacing the fuel tank. This fuel tank here is 9.8 litres. This fuel tank here is 6.2 litres. So I'm hoping to get a fuel range of something around 130 kilometres out of this bike. This one here I'll probably get about 80 kilometres. So first thing to do is remove the old fuel tank, so let's get into it. Okay, with the old tank removed, you can see that it requires these types of bracketries to be placed onto the new one. You can obviously see the size of the tank is far different. It comes with a fitting kit and an instruction manual. Some of the shrouds, by the looks of things, will have to be trimmed down. They prefer you to use these types of bolts where suggested to go. There's a bracket that goes here somehow. Okay, so that bracket must be bolted to the bike and then bolted on to the tank. That replaces this bracket here, so you won't actually see this bracket really. So first thing to do is we'll bolt this bracket to the bike, and then we'll fit the fuel pump to the bottom of the tank on this one here, and then we'll remove this bracketry to fit the seat. Okay, we move over to the bike where this bracket must fit. We just put the bracket there, the supplied washer, and this here bolt will be the replacement bolt. Simply screw that in. I would say you would need to tighten it up because you can't reach it once the fuel tank is on, so make sure you get that very square to your frame and your handlebars and such like to make sure it's in the correct position. So just grab the fuel tank, make sure that will line up, and it looks as though it will. Not too much problem. Wow, it's going to be difficult to check. It will be difficult to check your radiator fluid once this tank is installed. Yeah, that's going to be interesting. First sit the O-ring into this hole. And then the fuel pump. Now with the fuel pump installed, it's time to install this to the bike. Now to be sure to reattach all your connections. Now with the connections in, it should be, let's hope, a simple job in just putting this tank on, putting these bolts in. Wow, it's a little bit tighter to get in. It says in the instruction manual that something up here needs to be trimmed. So what we'll do is we'll have a quick look. And this piece here definitely needs to be trimmed. So I would say just go a fairly straight line. From here to here I will just trim. Okay, I've just got a little bit of texture, and we're going to run this along this edge here like this and come up to this point, and I'm going to trim this. Just going to cut it with a pair of tin snips. Now with this bit smoothed out, it's just time to install it back onto the bike. Now that the shroud's back onto the bike, the only piece you have to take off is that very corner edge. You can see here it's not very much at all. So basically where the sticker ends is where you go to and to that the curvature, and just run a little curve up to that tip right next to where the sticker is. So that's all you need to remove. So there you have it. The new IMS fuel tank is installed. Only had to trim here and here on the shrouds so that it would fit, but it has gone from a 6.2 litre fuel tank to now a 9.8 litres. Now the only thing is this piece here is the only bits that are actually bulky. The rest of the bike from here in is the exact same as it was on the original fuel tank, so the bike hasn't got any fatter in any way, which is a really good thing. So where your legs go will feel the exact same. I was concerned that this may be bulking out a little bit or something like that, but no, this tank fits really good. It seems like a lot more of their fuel gain is down here. It's gone closer to these wires and much closer to the top of the motor, whereas the other fuel tank sort of came up to about this level here and just went to about like to here. But this tank here goes up under the seat area more, so a lot of the area that has been gained is inside the frame area, with just this piece a little bit risen more and these side pieces here. So the actual width of the bike is no different to the way the rider would feel it, which is going to be really nice. Another thing that I like over this tank is you can actually see your fuel level, whereas the aluminium tank was very hard to gauge how much fuel you had left. So the fitment was quite easy. So there you have it, the IMS oversized fuel tank for the RMX450Z. The accelerator is sticking. There's a little bit of pressure on these cables which is pulling them tight, but when the cables are at their shortest, when the bars are at this angle, the accelerator is not sticking. When I go to this one, it's putting more pressure on the cables, and the accelerator, you can see here, it's sticking and not going back. So I'm going to have a look and try and get some of this pressure from these cables. So before you go for a ride, when you fit your tank, just make sure things like that are okay. Otherwise it could become dangerous if you have a sticking accelerator. Okay, the accelerator fix was quite easy. I simply just loosened the accelerator housing and pushed it up about 3 or 4 millimeters, just to give that cable just the slightest amount more. And I had to loosen the bracketry here so that the cables would go down into past that fuel tank just that little bit more. It only needed a slight amount, but now on full tilt I have the accelerator is returning, so no more sticky accelerator. So that's there something to look out for. So just keep mindful of that the tank may pull on your cables, so just double check and make sure your accelerator is not sticking. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.